Ooreofeoluwa is a cybersecurity professional with a growing record of leading and delivering impactful security initiatives in organization. So as an information security practitioner with 5 years of experience in governance, risk and compliance, vulnerability management, security operations, user security education, and data protection, Ooreofeoluwa has successfully led and deployed enterprise-wide security projects aimed at safeguarding information assets by implementing effective solutions to mitigate risk. With a passion for staying ahead of emerging threats, Ooreofeoluwa is known for her ability to proactively address evolving security challenges, a testament to her commitment to continuous learning. She is currently a cybersecurity master's student at Temple University, where she is honing her skill and developing more competencies relevant to emerging threats. She has gained relevant cybersecurity certifications in addition to 2 academic degrees in Management Information Systems from Covenant University. She has progressed in roles from security analyst to security manager, where she led, managed, delivered enterprise-wide security initiatives and technologies to ensure the protection of information assets and regulatory compliance. Beyond our technical prowess, Ooreofeoluwa educates by simplifying security concepts into practical cyber hygiene practices for diverse audiences, delivering compelling presentations on relatable cybersecurity and data protection topics. In commitment to advancing female-focused courses, she volunteers with the Coding Mom, Cyber Safe Foundation, and Letter to a Lady speaking to teenagers and high school students, working, sharing knowledge, and empowering others. Ooreofeoluwa is dedicated to fostering a culture of security awareness and collaboration within communities. When Ooreofeoluwa is not doing serious cybersecurity, she is watching crime-related and professional series. She also enjoys a good swing at a park to sustain energy and excitement levels. Let me also chip in that if you've read what the Nigerian government talked about you paying cybersecurity levy and you've got any question, this is the right time for you to sit up because, of course, our speaker will talk about cybersecurity and what it means to us. So let's welcome our speaker, Ooreofeoluwa Koyejo.
Thank you very much for that beautiful introduction. Thank you so much for the opportunity and the privilege to be in the midst of amazing women this afternoon, my morning. I have learned and listened to quite a number of speakers that have gone ahead of me, and I want to say thank you to everyone that has shared so far. There has been something that I've picked from everyone's conversation, and I hope that the audience also appreciates all of the content, knowledge, wisdom that has been shared today. So I'm going to get right into it because I don't want to take too much time. So that's my version of standing on all existing protocols. So hello, everybody. Basically, I would run through some thoughts that I have on navigating cybersecurity career as a woman, which is the topic that the conference organizers have given to me, bridging paths for moms in tech. Disclaimer, I am not a mom, so there are some valid experiences and valid lifestyles that moms have that I do not have, so I'm not going to be able to share in that light. So I will just share from my experience so far as a woman in cybersecurity. So I'm not a mom yet. All right. Yes. My name is Ooreofeoluwa Koyejo, as introduced. So please, can anyone just confirm in the chat section if they can hear me and see my slides clearly so that I can proceed?
We can hear you and we can see your slide.
Okay, thank you very much. So cybersecurity, I would say aside AI, machine learning, crypto, cybersecurity is in the league of buzzwords in tech. Like cybersecurity is everywhere. And it should be, right? Not just because it's a cool thing, but because it has become of almost importance and significance to people, to organizations, because of the impact that a cyber breach or a cyber attack can have. Like it can literally cripple an organization, take you out of business, and as an individual, you can lose everything just by being breached. We hear of, oh, my account has been hacked on social media, and now they have access to my messages, my DMs, my pictures, and all of that, and then things are happening. That's literally the significance of cybersecurity. Like an attack, a breach can have detrimental effect. So it's important that we become very aware and knowledgeable about what cybersecurity is. So there are different aspects of cybersecurity as a topic. There's a cybersecurity hygiene that every individual, whether you're tech inclined, tech oriented or not, you should have and you should know. And then there's also the function of cybersecurity within an organization, for a company and all of that. So briefly, what is cybersecurity? So according to Cisco Systems, which is a tech giant that is global, they define cybersecurity as a practice of protecting systems, networks, and programs from cyber attacks. So it's not one thing. Cybersecurity is not one thing. It is many things working together, because it has to be a complemented effort. All of these different components, all of these different measures working together to achieve an objective or stated goals, which is the CIA triad, which I will speak about. And SANS Institute, which is also a globally recognized learning institute for cybersecurity certifications, best practices, and all of that. They refer to information security. Now, information security is sometimes used interchangeably with cybersecurity, right? And they define it as processes and methodologies designed and implemented to protect any form of information or data from unauthorized access, unauthorized use, disclosure, destruction, modification, or disruption. So there's so many things that can happen to data or information. And what cybersecurity is about is putting all of these many different controls, measures, processes in place to ensure that this data is protected and is not exposed to people that shouldn't have access to it. So they say that there is no cybersecurity without the CIA triad. Now, the CIA is not the Central Intelligence Agency of the US. No, not that. It's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So in a bit to simplify what cybersecurity is, the thought leaders and the quote-unquote EGLers of cybersecurity have come to say that when you say cybersecurity, it is synonymous to these three things fundamentally, and it's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality simply means if you are not supposed to see my information or see anything about me, then you shouldn't. It is simply about preventing and protecting unauthorized access and disclosure of information. That is why you now have things like passwords. Means I lock my account, you shouldn't have access to it if you don't have my password. It's just like, oh, you live in an apartment and you have your key. Any random person shouldn't have your key, right? Because it is your house, your properties, your things are inside the house, your valuables. So it shouldn't be exposed to just anybody. Then you have integrity. Integrity means the correctness of information, the correctness of whatever is presented. Now, I know that we're in the buzz era of AI, deep fakes, and all of that. So, like, what is correct, what is accurate, what is true is now very subjective, because there's so many things that can be done to manipulate things. But one of the things cybersecurity aims to achieve is that the integrity of information is retained at every point in time. And availability means information should be available to people that should have access to it should have access to it. So in this case, we're looking at a website where people want to order, and they're able to access the website and order what they want to order, right? Or maybe a government agency that has web services, right? And you want to put in your details to get your driver's license or whatever service that platform is providing. Or let's even go deep into health, right? Hospitals now are using health information systems. Just for a moment, think about if a hospital that has gone full digital is not able to, maybe they have a network downtime, right? And there are people in the ICU, there are children, there are people that are on diffusion or using medical devices that are plugged digitally, and then there's something going on with their network. In that time and in that moment, because life is fickle, right? Anything can happen and people can die, like literally. So in that scope, availability of information is super, super important. So those are the three fundamentals of cybersecurity. So in any scope, in any context that you're talking about cybersecurity, these three things must be fundamentally checked for you to say, okay, yes, our cybersecurity is solid, or my cybersecurity as an individual is solid. Now let's go into the career conversations. Like, you want to have a career in cybersecurity, you need to know that to have a cybersecurity career, you need to have the knowledge. You need to know what cybersecurity is about. Now, I've used a few minutes to just talk about the fundamentals of cybersecurity, but each one has depth and breadth to it. There's so many controls, so many technologies, so many processes that help you to achieve each of that. And like I said, these are the fundamentals. There are other ones. There's non-repudiation, there's access controls, there's authentication, authorization. There's so many levels to it. So you need to know these things, right? And one good thing, which is also like two sides of the coin of cybersecurity is not definite. It is broad, it keeps changing, it keeps evolving as people are coming with different types of threats, different types of attacks, different types of hacks. Is the same way the people that are practitioners have to update their knowledge. Things keep changing. Today there's AI, there's machine learning. Tomorrow there's going to be, not even tomorrow, is already existing, there's the metaverse. There's so many technologies that are coming up every single day. So it means that you, as a cybersecurity practitioner, have to always update your knowledge. That can get very daunting because we are human beings. We just like to chill and to rest and all of that. But if you're pursuing a career in cybersecurity, you have to keep learning. And learning is in different ways, different formats. We'll get into it. Some of the speakers also spoke about different ways to learn. And then the skill. So there's the knowledge, which is, oh, I understand this concept, I understand this terminology, but there's a skill because you have to do the work. You are in front of a computer, you have to put your hands and get work done. And that is not easy as well. Now, I'm not saying all of this to scare anyone, but I just want you to know that before you choose a career, and then, yeah, definitely there's growth, one step at a time and all of that. But you also need to know the realities so that you don't think, oh, I want to be in cybersecurity to make the cool money. I want to be earning in dollars. I want to have a remote job, which all these things are valid and beautiful, but you have to know your stuff as well. Then there's the value you bring. Like I said, cybersecurity is many different things. Some people specialize, some people generalize, some people teach, some people, like, there's so many things, but what is your own value? You need to be able to see it ahead and walk towards it one step at a time. There's people. One very beautiful thing about cybersecurity, also because it's an evolving career path, is you have to collaborate. You cannot do cybersecurity as a career alone. You have to collaborate. You have to have people in your network. And this is not just about, oh, having a mentor, being a mentee, and all of that. Across all levels, right? You have to collaborate with people below you, people on your level, people that are ahead of you, so that you have like a full scope perspective of what's happening. Because most times when you're working, you are neck deep or knee deep in what you're doing, right? And that can be consuming because you spend roughly 8 hours, 10 hours at your job daily. To be seen and going to sites to see, oh, what's happening in the world, it won't come natural. So you need to have people around you that are in your space, that even in an informal setting, you can get updates about what they are doing in their own companies, their own organizations, their own scope, and learn from it, or at least be aware of it. Then there's a business of it, right? You are in career to make an income. You're in career to have a life and have a livelihood. So you have to know what you're doing and focus on how you get ahead per time. Then your cybersecurity career, like I always tell people whenever I have the opportunity to, is what is your reason for wanting to have a cybersecurity career? Your reason is valid to you, but you should know it clearly because things will come, you get tired, you can get bored. Yeah, you can get bored. Anything can happen, right? and your reason has to be solid enough to keep you inspired and keep you going. It is very personal to you. You can draw inspiration from people, but you need to know it. You need to define it. You need to be aware of it. And what motivates you as well, you need to know all of that, because each day or every day in your cybersecurity career is not the same, right? You have people to work with, you have tools, technologies, trainings, and all of that. So you have to ensure that you have something that is intrinsically motivating, something that is internal to you and motivates you. Is very, very important for the journey ahead. And are you actually ready to have a cybersecurity career? What does success look like for you in cybersecurity? And what will that success mean to you? These are things you need to ask yourself and define for yourself. It will help if you can document it somewhere so that when the going gets tough, you can go back to it and say, oh, this is the reason I started this thing. Okay, no matter what's shaking me right now, I will get my footing back because of these things. Now, it's okay to not have all these answers yet. And sometimes your answers will change as you grow, as you improve. Like my reason when I started in 2018, 2019 is not my reason today in 2024. So you're allowed to evolve. I mean, the career path evolves, so you should evolve as well. But do your research. It is very, very important. Do your research, ask questions, and seek guidance. So on the chart, I have like different levels and different job roles, per level, entry level, mid level, senior management, that you can see. But again, these roles and their titles are not static, they change. Also, they are also informed by the kind of organization that you're in. If you're working in a bank, your job title will be different from if you're working in a SOC, the Security Operations Center, or you're working in a consulting company as a cybersecurity specialist. So your job roles and your job titles will change, or is determined by the organization or the scope that you find yourself. These are some, cybersecurity pathways, feeder roles, entry-level roles, and titles, advanced level. You'll see some names that they're wondering, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? And I think it was Symbiat I heard say earlier that Google is your friend, right? You have to do your own research. I cannot possibly tell you everything that I know about cybersecurity in the time slot that I have. It's not possible. Even me, I'm still learning, right? Because I have seniors, I have people that I look up to, I have role models, I have mentors, there's so many things to know and to learn, right? So I can't possibly tell you everything. But then again, how can you now learn cybersecurity if you have decided that this is what I want to do? There's so much resources out there. And by out there, I mean resources from people, resources on the internet, resources in trainings. I think it was Simiat also that said there's free training, there's free stuff on YouTube and, learning platforms and all of that. But there's also paid trainings where it is more tailored to you and your learning requirements and all of that. So it is your responsibility to design what works for you based on what you know about yourself, how you like to learn. Some people like to learn by themselves. They want to watch YouTube and do their labs by themselves. Some people want to be in a classroom. So if you like classroom experience and all of that, you would want to tend towards going to a formal institution, maybe a university, maybe a polytechnic, maybe, training institute. I know in Nigeria there's NIT, there is there's Aptech. Yeah, I think it's Aptech. There's so many organizations out there that teach you, that their trainings, they're not schools, but they use the school approach to teach you all of these things. You get to ask questions live and all of that, right? So and like so many of the speakers have said, there is a technical aspect of cybersecurity and there's a non-technical aspect of cybersecurity. So I mean, fun fact is I decided to go into cybersecurity because I was looking for a tech career that did not involve coding. Because at the time I was just scared of coding. Not that it was difficult, I was just scared. I'm like, why am I going to sit in front of a black screen for hours, just be do 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 do? No, please, I don't talk to people. I want to see colors and all of that. That was my understanding in 2018, right? But now in cybersecurity, you will sit in front of, if you're in the technical aspect, right? You will sit in front of code, regardless, you write scripts, right? And even if you're in the non-technical aspect, you need to be able to understand these things when they're presented to you. Because like I said, All of these things are connected. They're components that work together. So if you're not practically functioning in the technical aspect, you need to understand what the technical people are bringing to you for you to make sense out of it, either as an auditor, either as a governance and compliance person, in whatever capacity you have or you're in as a non-technical person, you need to be able to make sense of it. So you need to understand it, even if you're not the one doing it. So from people, as I've said earlier, internet, YouTube is a very wonderful place to learn. You can pause it, you can skip it, you can, make it faster, make it slower till you understand. Now that involves time. You need time to learn. If you're going to teach yourself, then you would need to invest huge number of hours. Then boot camps, training. So I've listed some organizations here. I'll still talk about them in like subsequent slides. How do you like move from one point to the other in your cybersecurity career path? You have to speak up. Let people know what you're about. Let people know what you're interested in. Let people know what your needs are. Oh, you're entry level, you're looking for an internship, you want to volunteer, you're looking for resources to help you learn, or books. Like there are people that I go to that I'm into this now. Do you have resources? And they'll just send me a Google Drive because they have all of these things, or they know people that have these things. So you don't need to necessarily spend your money if you don't have the money. There are resources. You just need to speak up. It will shock you that if you go on LinkedIn and put a post that, oh, I'm interested in this and this, and I need resources, who can share with me? People will respond to you and give you resources for free, resources that they had to pay for. So you need to speak up. You need to grow. You need to learn always, always. An article a day, a video a day, what's going on in cybersecurity news globally, locally, like our facilitator said, cybersecurity levy in Nigeria. You need to know what all these things are about. Develop your skills. There's always something new to learn. There's always a training that will benefit you. Mentoring, networking, and consulting. I don't know if everyone on this call has seen this Instagram trend, when Esther something established, and then it's from a throwback picture to a recent picture. So if you want to be established in cybersecurity, you need to do all these things, right? Yeah, so I saw this by someone in Nigeria, of course, and she said one of the toughest things, sorry, my screen. One of the toughest things to manage as a cybersecurity professional is keeping up with security concepts, knowledge, and skills. I asked myself 1,000,001 times, when does it end? Who send me work? Bye. Well, I know it does not, as you cannot stop learning in general. Just to buttress what I said earlier about cybersecurity, you have to keep going. There's no pause, there is no stop, well, except you define like a cap for yourself. So the other image on the screen, I put it there because it shows different ways that you can learn with images. So the one in the middle is a graduation cap that is going to school. Laptop is a tool that you use to learn, to practice, and all of that. The globe shows the internet. Scissors is like practicals, getting it done. So many things that show you that it's not one thing that will help you get to where you want to get to in your cybersecurity career. It's a combination of many things. Now, people talk about certifications, and I'm like, do I really need a certification? I know my job. Do I really need a certification? Yes, you need a certification for growth and for visibility. And so it's not everyone that will know you, right? And a very good way to introduce yourself to the world, to people, to potential employers, to recruiters, is through the certifications that you have. They're entry level, they're certifications for every level, just as we saw job roles and descriptions for every level, there are certifications for every level. And also some of them are context driven. So certifications in incident response, certifications in vulnerability assessment, certifications in cybersecurity auditing, certifications in ethical hacking. There are certifications that are niche like that, and there are also general certifications. So there's different ways people approach cybersecurity as a career. There's the offensive, there's the defensive, and then there's the management. So there's so many things that we can cover everything on this call, definitely. So certifications provide you a learning opportunity because you have to train, you have to read, you have to study before you take the exam and pass it. And some of these certifications are not just like multiple choice. Some of them are labs. Like you actually do labs to show that you have competency in that thing, especially for the technical ones, right? As I said, evidence of professional credibility, and then attraction to potential employers and recruiters. certifications do not get the work done. I also want to put that disclaimer out there. The fact that someone says, oh, I have this certification doesn't necessarily mean that they can do the work, right? Because to get certification, you read, you pass, there are dumps, questions out there that you can practice and practice and practice, and you get the answers right. But when you get to the job, can you do it? So you have the certification solid, but when you get to the job, you still need to be able to do the work. And certifications will not do the work for you. Networking is very important because you don't know everybody and you need to know people that know somebody to get to where you want to get to, backed up by your own value in your skills, your knowledge, your proficiency. So these are some organizations that I'm aware of, that I'm a part of, that I've worked with in the past, and I can say, oh yes, these are solid ones. Some of them are global, some of them are in Nigeria, some of them offer training, some of them are women focused. So you can just check them out in your own leisure. Yeah, go for events, go for conferences, join webinars like this. There will be something that somebody will say that would help you. And then when you start your career, put yourself out there. Whatever you learn today, do a short article, 2 paragraphs, put it out on LinkedIn. There are people that are watching. Trust me, people are always watching, and it will matter eventually one day. Now you are a woman. Understand your own peculiarities and work around them to achieve your career in tech. You're a woman. There's so many ceilings. There's so many things that are already out there that people will say, oh, they're staged against women, but there are ways around it. And sometimes they don't even exist. But if it's already in your mind that, oh, I'm a woman, there's a block, then you're shortchanging yourself. Chimamanda said, never accept because you're a woman as a reason for doing or not doing anything. Be true to yourself, know your limitations, your personal limitations, know your strengths, your weaknesses, and go for whatever you want. You can do it. That's literally it. You can do it. And if you decide or you discover that you cannot do it, then that's fine as well. Look for something that you can do and shine in it. There's so many women in cybersecurity in Nigeria, home and abroad. Some of them run their own organizations. Some of them are senior level employees in organization. There's so many women in cybersecurity. So it's not a new field for women. No, it's not new. People are there. People are winning. People are shining in cybersecurity, and so can you. These are some of the women. If you're on LinkedIn, you can check them up, follow them, see what they've done, see how they do what they do. These are some of my own favorite women in cybersecurity, and I just thought to share. Yes, and that's everything that I have. Please let's connect on LinkedIn. That's my link. That's my name on LinkedIn, Ooreofeoluwa Koyejo. And yeah, I will be very happy to help as much as I can. If you connect with me, or when you connect with me, if you have questions and all of that, we can discuss them as well. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm just going to run into the comment section to see if there's anything for me as a question. Okay. Oh, thank you guys. What's my motivation? Stephanie wants to know what my motivation is. How did I get to it? Did I get to that motivation before I started, or after I started? I think I answered the last part while I was speaking. What's my motivation? My motivation is to be of value in any place that I find myself. And this is not just my career motivation, it's my life motivation, my mantra. Like if I'm your friend, like I think this is a flex. Some of my friends on this call will agree. If I'm your friend, you will know that I am your friend because I am valuable to you. So for me, it's about value. So in whatever that I do, career, personal, family, I'm constantly looking for ways to be of value to people. Like, what can I do to make your life better, easier, nicer, funnier, and all of that? So that's my own mantra, or that's my motivation. How did I get to it? I got to it from a place of self-awareness. I think they say when you're first daughter, first child, there's some things that just come natural to you, which I am. So I think from a place of meeting people's needs, I just found out, okay, I actually like this thing. I enjoy it. I find fulfillment in it. If I'm having a bad day and someone reaches out to me that, oh, I need this, even if I don't have it, I'll try to help you find how to solve that problem. So that I think that's how I got to it. So from a place of self-awareness, constantly asking myself questions, what makes me happy? What do I enjoy doing? What can I do even if nobody is putting money on the table for it? I think, yeah, that's how I got to it, top of my head. Yeah. I hope I've answered your question, Stephanie. I will stop sharing my screen. I don't know if you guys need me to share
All right. Sorry,
slide.
there's a question. Thank you. There's
Okay.
a question, and I think that question has been in the mind of many people because
Okay.
how does accepting cookies on website or mobile app
Mhm.
affect my security, and also responding yes to apps that ask to have access to some information when I try to open them?
Okay. So cookies are tiny storage files that gather some information about you when you are on a website. Now, cookies have different functionalities. They do different things. The intention of cookies is to have some sort of storage about what you do on that website so that the next time you visit that website, you can continue from where you stopped. You don't have to start all over again. But because of that functionality, some organizations, some websites also now use it to take some personal information about you. So, for example, there are some cookies that have been found out to, when you want to buy something on a website, you put in your card details, you put in your address, some of your personal information to use it, right? So some cookies store that and then it's exposed, right? And that's your personal information. And that is now exploited by other people because there's some place called the dark web where people's personal information that shouldn't be on the World Wide Web, they are. So people trade credit card information, personal information to do different things, right? So what I do personally is when I'm on a website and the cookies pop-up shows, my default is to reject, right? But if I'm not able to proceed on that website without accepting, then I go to necessary cookies. So I just accept the ones that say they are for functionality, analytics, and take out anything that has to do with personal information. That is the best that I can do, right? I hope we all know that it's one thing for a website or a company to say this is what we do, is another thing that they actually do, right? So you can only try, really. You can only try, but that's what cookies are for. The second question's about, sorry, can you take the second part of the question again? I forgot.
Yes, it's almost the same thing like that of
Okay, okay,
accepting cookies, that
okay.
responding yes to app that
Mhm.
asks to have access to some information when I try to open them.
Oh yeah, for that I also decline, except it is affecting what I need to do on the app. So on my phone, what I do is I decline or I accept for a period of time. My phone gives me option, oh, do you want to give access to this part of your phone? How long do you want this access to be for? So I try to curate all of those settings and configurations to the best of my ability and to what is available on those apps. But someone said to me some time ago, and it's just in my head, that when the service is free, you are the product. So, like, because you use free applications, you don't necessarily have so much control as to what is done with your data or whatever you put on that app. So, I think just have that at the back of your mind. So, you're conscious of what you're doing on the apps, what you're sharing on the internet, and what you're making available. The fact that, oh, the world is digital and we all exist on our phones and all of that doesn't mean that everything about you should be on your phone, right? Still try to be coded.